How are you all doing today? As I'm sure you are aware, my name is Mark Dorsett. I am the student pastor here at the Christabelle Spiritualist Church here in beautiful Cherry Valley, Illinois. I hope that you are all doing very well today. I hope that you are all having a very peaceful Sunday morning. I know that it has been, to put it mildly, it's been a little bit of an interesting week that we had last week, so I look forward to things starting to calm down here in the future. I will go ahead and begin today's sermon with our invocation, followed by our declaration of principles. Please bow your heads in a virtual fashion. Infinite Spirit, all-pervading love, you who are beauty, the light, and wisdom of life, we pray that all of us assembled here today, virtually, may be responsive to the rays of light, that each heart may be open as a flower to the sunlight, and that in the expansion of love within, we may contact the realms of truth and power. Give to our waiting hearts the gift of understanding. Amen. I felt that that was a very appropriate invocation for the day, and I do appreciate Spirit guiding me to that. Now, on to our declaration of principles. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We affirm the moral responsibility of individuals and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul here or hereafter. And finally, we affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing are divine attributes proven through mediumship. Again, hello, and good morning to everyone who is watching this sermon here today. As I stand here before you, we are just days past a very challenging and contentious election. It is my wish for each and every person out there that you have a wonderful day filled with promise and opportunity. I am speaking not only to our virtual congregation members who would normally be here in person, those people who are in the Rockford and Cherry Valley areas here in Illinois, but when I refer to everyone, I am talking to everyone around the world, no matter where you happen to be watching us from. Now, with regards to those in the U.S., regardless of who you voted for, or even if you chose not to vote in this particular election, my wish for each and every one of you is that you also have a wonderful day and wonderful, peaceful week ahead. Every American, whether you be a Democrat, a Republican, a Green Party member, a Libertarian, whatever political party that you voted for that you feel best represents your interests, I'm wishing you a wonderfully happy and peaceful week ahead. I know that as we are joined here today, albeit virtually, there seems to be a great continental divide that is happening. One where literally half this great nation is in a state of mourning, or in some cases, I see quite a few of you are in a state of agitation, if not outright anger. There's a great sense of frustration. Not just from the individuals who see themselves as the losers in this election. Those who are happy with the outcome, who were very happy with how things went, also carry with them not only a sense of relief over their candidate carrying the day, but also a sense of frustration with the closeness of this election. Both sides of this debate cannot seem to understand the point of view of the other. And as I was preparing for this sermon today, I was kind of drawn to a writing from Abraham Lincoln that I feel is a very big inspiration for this sermon. Words of wisdom, if you will, for this continental divide in which we find ourselves in as a nation right now. President Lincoln actually had a very spiritualist outlook, and his words from the time while he was drafting his Gettysburg Address really came to my mind when I was thinking about this sermon. And I'm going to be giving you a rather long quote from him, but I do feel it is very appropriate. "The will of God prevails. In great contests, each party claims to act in accordance with the will of God. Both may be, and one must be, wrong. God cannot be for and against the same thing at the same time. In the present civil war, it is quite possible that God's purpose is something different from the purpose of either party, and yet human instrumentalities, working just as they do, are of the best adaptation to effect his purpose. I am almost ready to say that this is probably true, that God wills this contest and wills that it shall not end yet. By his mere great power on the minds of the now contestants, he could have either saved or destroyed the Union without a human contest. Yet the contest began, and having begun, he could give the final victory to any side any day. Yet the contest proceeds." So in what really reads to me a lot more like a Shakespearean monologue than a presidential writing, I think President Lincoln actually had a very good grasp of what was happening then, and indeed what's currently happening now. God, or as we here today would say, infinite intelligence, has provided us with the gift of free will to determine what we do with the ideological differences that we face. And that is something that President Lincoln was also referencing. That question of, how do we reconcile our ideals with those who may not feel the same way as we do? As spiritualists, after all, we are in a spiritualist church, after all, we understand that it is not up to infinite intelligence. It is not up to God to tell us what is right. We understand that that is not how the universe operates. We are on this earthly plane of existence for the purposes of learning, growing, striving, and thriving. It is up to us as individuals to decide every moment of every day what direction we choose to move our lives in. And in this instance, with our national election, it is up to us to decide what direction we would like to see our country move in. Do we move forward cooperatively? Do we move forward with a sense that we are all in this situation together? Or do we sow the seeds of strife? Do we allow fear, bigotry, and xenophobia to try and undermine the very systems we have put in place to protect each and every one of us while we are here in this physical form? These are the very struggles that President Lincoln faced in his day and time. How to reconcile the ideological differences faced by those around him in order to help heal the country, to help people to understand that there truly is no them and us. They are us. We are in this together. Part of our journey here on earth, this great blue marble of human experience, is learning to accept and understand that even though each of us may not agree every time, or that we may not always feel the same about every situation all the time, that we can let go of fear. We can let go of hate. We can let go of our need to try and tear down those very institutions that are meant to work on all our behalves. Instead of focusing our energies toward destruction, let us all endeavor to focus on building something special in which there is a place for each of us, where each of us can find peace, can find happiness, can find prosperity, and can find peace. As spiritualists, I ask that we each take a cue from what we know to be true of Summerland. It is a place of peaceful coexistence, a place where spirit comes together for a common peace, a common joy, a common happiness for all. Just because we have differences, that's not a reason for us to fear or hate. It is that marvelous diversity that is all part of infinite intelligence. Indeed, we are all part of that marvelous diversity that makes up all that is, was, or ever will be. That is something to be joyful about, not something to be suspicious of, not something to be fearful of. Now think back to our own principle number 6. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, I personally believe that this statement itself implies that while each of us may wish to be treated slightly differently, the intention behind that statement is this: treat others with the same respect that you yourself would like to be treated with. We are the science, philosophy, and religion of spiritualism. We understand that as spiritualists, we are all part of that great triune of spiritualism, as well as the triune of the body, the soul, and spirit. Now, if you are unfamiliar with those terms, please look back to the previous sermons that we have provided from the Christabelle Spiritualist Church. We can help you to understand. As spiritualists, we seek the science of spiritualist truth. We seek knowledge. We strive to know how everything in existence operates. We seek the philosophy of spiritualist truth. We seek to find the deeper wisdom in every situation. We seek the religion of spiritualist truth, to truly connect with our spirit, with infinite intelligence, the infinite mind from which all things in existence spring forth. We know that there is so much more than this physical form that we are currently inhabiting here on earth. I truly see part of the challenge that we are currently going through as being due to the fact that so many of us have lost our connection to spirit, our connection to that divine part of us that is truly eternal, that exists in love and compassion. Remember that our spirit lives in love. Now, I've spoken about this previously. I know I have, but I really believe it bears repeating here. Never live in fear. It's a terrible neighborhood. Your neighbor's paranoia and stress will keep you up all night. Live in love. Not only is the view so much better, but the cost of living there is much cheaper. It is so much nicer, and it is so much more fun. And don't we all need a little bit more fun in our lives? I mean, really? I think we do. Remember these wise words. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. We are seeing this all around us right now. How many people you hear on the radio or see, not only on television, but also on social media, as well as those who are espousing fear and anger, all of them as a means to create a greater continental divide between us. This has led to great hatred and great unrest, as well as a feeling of needing control over whatever a person can grasp tightly to. Do yourself and those around you a favor. Try and remember that any control we have over our outside world really is an illusion. We are not able to control everything that is happening to us. And that is part of the frustration I see with a lot of people, actually. We can control how we react to what happens to us. Even if we can't control what happens, we can control how we react to it. And I know I've spoken about that before, but truer words were never spoken than this. Relax. Nothing is under control. We who seek the light of spiritualist truth understand that part of our journey here on earth, part of the reason that we came here, is not only, as I had said previously, to learn, grow, strive, and thrive, but to also do our part to bring that light, that joy, that divine healing energy of spirit to this earth plane. We are trying to raise the vibration of this planetary energy. We want to bring more light. We want to bring more love. We want to bring more joy. So how do we do this exactly? First, we do this by doing what we can to understand the point of view of another person. Not everyone has the same experiences. Not everyone has the same understanding of the unlimited nature of the universe. Not everyone understands that we are so much more than just this mortal coil. Understand that they are more closely connected with the physical body, with this physical incarnation, than they are with spirit. That is where I'm also going to say you do not necessarily have to agree with that person as long as you look to understand their perspective. Because those people are unable to see that we are so much more than just this physical form, they will only associate with the needs of that physical body. Because of this, we also need to be patient. We are currently seeing a large influx of souls from spirit that are inhabiting the physical who don't necessarily have a lot of experience here on earth. And honestly, with all the distractions of this mortal world, it can be very easy to forget where we originate and where we all shall return. Do not fear for these people who are afraid. Do not let their fear become a contagion that also infects you as well. Let your knowledge and wisdom of the nature of things and your knowledge of natural law help guide you as you allow our own declaration of principles to be your guide. This is a time of great change, and change isn't always easy. It is, however, necessary for growth. Because so many of us have lost our true connection to spirit, we forget that anything that happens here on earth is just a temporary situation. Anything that swings the pendulum too far in one direction will ultimately swing it back. Remember that as spiritualists, we understand the words of Galen that were given to Andrew Jackson Davis all those years ago. In all things, keep an even mind. Or as I have spoken about in a previous sermon, be water. Keep an even mind. Keep your understanding that what is happening right here on earth is only temporary, but it is also necessary. It is necessary for a great awakening to spirit, to love, to joy, to peace, to happiness. It is a reminder to us all that it is not about the ego, but the we go. As in, we go together to learn, grow, strive, and thrive. We can and we will do this together, all of us. But first, we must take hold of the hands of our fellow Americans, albeit symbolically, and help lead them out of living in fear and lead them to love. We must remember to be patient with each other and with ourselves, actually, as we navigate this challenging time in our history, but we shall move forward together. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.